Tonight, we hit our debt ceiling, and prior to that, the Senate will be rushing to vote on the new debt ceiling bill. Now, if it passes the Senate, the bill will get rushed to President Obama's desk so that the president can sign it before the clock strikes midnight. So will the Senate pass it? Earlier today, we caught up with Republican Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, and we asked him if he's going to vote yes or no. Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Well, it's nice to see you, Greta.
Okay, are you a yes vote to the debt ceiling proposal or a no vote?
Well, I'm a no vote because I'd committed that I'm not going to vote to lift the debt ceiling until we get a balanced budget amendment. And frankly, I think that's the correct position to take. But I have to honorably live up to that, even though I think the leadership has done a very good job under the circumstances.
All right, so the fact that there's going to be a balanced budget amendment vote later is not sufficient for you?
That's not sufficient. I think we have to pass the balanced budget, at least for this Congress. I'd like to see that done.
Well, you know, the member of the Tea Party movement supports your view on that. I mean, they've been out there. They're not very happy with this, a lot of them.
Well, they're not happy, but, you know, the president wants a balanced economy. That means more taxes. I think they've been able to keep this from going up in taxes, although the Joint Committee might have to do some tax increases, but I hope not. Actually, I don't want more taxes. I don't want his principle of balance. I want a balanced budget, and that's what I'm working for. That's what I've worked for my whole Senate service, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Your former colleague, now Vice President Biden, was on Capitol Hill today, and he's quoted as saying to a number of people that the Tea Party has acted like terrorists in this. What do you say to that? I
think that's pure bunk. The fact of the matter is, without the Tea Party, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't have the agreement that we've got, even though they would like to see it more. And I'm an original Tea Party person when you think of it, before they even conceived of the Tea Party. I was one of the first to support Ronald Reagan. I think the only one he ever pre-primary endorsed. So I think the Tea Party has done a great service to the country. So I don't think they should be vilified. And frankly, the president, you know, he wants a balanced approach. I want a balanced budget. And I think the Tea Party, and I want us to be accountable around this place. My gosh, we're not accountable. We've run this country right into the ground. And when I say we, I mean the people who are of a more liberal persuasion. I don't think I've been part of that, but Congress has run this country right into the ground. We haven't been accountable. I think we've got to get accountability involved in here, and that's what's going to happen with this approach that they've come up with. I give them credit for what they've done.
Is this new bill, I know you don't agree that you're going to vote no, does it structurally change things at all? And so when they sort of, besides the balanced budget amendment vote that's going to be off to the side, done a little bit later, does it really does it give any protection to the American people that the next Congress is going to come along and just ignore this?
Yeah, it really does. The very fact that the American people are really going to be behind this and getting spending at least somewhat under control and not raising taxes is a very, very good thing. But the second tranche of this happens to be where if they can't put it together and those 12 people are not able to come up with a solution, then at that particular point there's going to be a sequestration. It will be across the board. I don't want to see that because it would hit the Defense Department rather hard, and too hard as far as I'm concerned. But that's going to be the trigger that really makes a difference here. And I think that's the only way we can make this bunch up here on Capitol Hill be accountable for what they're doing.
Do you have any interest in serving on this super committee or super Congress, whatever it's called?
Well, I'm not sure that I would be picked for that because I can't be for tax increases under any circumstances. I really don't think they're justified. What's justified to me is to get people working. We get more people working at higher salaries and better benefits, and by gosh, after a while we'll work ourselves right out of the revenue problem because we'll have more people paying taxes, more people participating in the system. And we're not going to get that as long as President Obama is president, because he doesn't understand the private sector, and there's no one down at the White House who does understand the private sector. Not one person down there, to my knowledge, has ever created a private sector job, and if they have, it's been darn few at that.
You know, this discussion is so heated about the balanced budget amendment, about the debt ceiling, I think in part because the economy has been so sluggish. We still have 9.2% unemployment.
Right.
So while all our attention is on this debt ceiling, what's happening with what's being done, or what's your idea, your plans, or even anyone here to fix the economy and the job situation?
Well, let's face it, that's where it really has to be. If we're not creating jobs, we're never going to get the revenues up to the point where we can really handle some of these problems the way they have to be handle it, especially with the spending that the Democrats are doing and have been doing all these years, including some liberal Republicans as well. I think what we've got to do is, I think keeping taxes low, reducing them if we can, making sure the federal government is not regulating people to death, allowing the small business people to really come out of it and grow and go by not overtaxing them, making sure that we go to a territorial system so we can get that $1 to $2 trillion back that corporations are holding back because they don't want to pay 35% corporate tax rate on those. We could go on things that I would do to help this economy, but the most important thing is let the economy grow, get the federal government out of all of our hair, and let the small business community do what it knows how to do, and that's create 70% of the jobs.
Coming up, he says they